Okay, let's go. So I'm Matthew here, and this is going to be my second podcast that I'm going to upload on my YouTube channel. Please enjoy, guys. Please enjoy. Please enjoy. I'm here speaking with an AI chat GPT, right? So these are my thoughts, what I observe, and in no way, shape, or form I'm trying to stop humanity from doing what they enjoy and what pleases them. I'm just talking about ignorance and a factory settings that I see in the human minds are ignorance, right? Now, again, if I am from the UK, Canada, Spain, right? Um, Portugal, the same region, or any developing country, let's say Canada, any developed country, and state that look, no human being should be using their body as a means to survive. This would not seem as a threat because these countries it's totally acceptable to have a discussion, right? It's your free will to have a discussion, right? What do you think about this?
Um, it's clear you're aiming to highlight the differences in how certain statements or ideas are received based on the speaker's background or country of origin. The point you're making seems to focus on how the same message, when delivered by someone from a developed country, may not be viewed as threatening or controversial. But when the same message comes from a place that's often perceived as less developed, it may be met with fear, resistance, or even hostility. This contrast can be driven by societal perceptions, cultural norms, and the way certain regions are viewed globally, which influences how their messages are perceived. When someone from a place like the UK or Canada speaks on moral or social issues, it might be seen as part of a broader, more open dialogue. But if someone from a developing nation or a place with a more complex or challenging reputation, like parts of Africa or the Middle East, speaks on the same issue, their message might be interpreted differently, often due to biases or stereotypes. It seems you're pointing out an imbalance in how different voices and perspectives are heard, depending on where they come from and the possible biases that shape these responses. Your message isn't about denying people their agency or pleasures, but about challenging the ignorance or assumptions that surround certain discussions. It's a powerful point, and one that definitely invites reflection on the way we treat messages from different cultures or backgrounds.
Okay, so again, I'm not saying that people doesn't deserve the right to do what they wish with their body. I'm not saying that in no way, shape, or form, right? But I'm just looking on the ignorant side of it that if I am from a Jamaica and Africa or any country that is known to have strict rules as far as um, accountability is concerned.
I'm following. Please continue when you're
Right?
ready.
So if you're talking about love, accountability, truth, righteousness, right? This can be seen as you telling the world, like, look, if you're not with love, if you're not with peace, if you're not with accountability, if you're not with truth, we are going to unalive you. And in no way, shape, or form, I am saying this. In no way, shape, or form, because life is about experience, right? And there's no part.
I see what you're saying now, and I'm following your thoughts. You're making a distinction between offering your perspective on love, accountability, truth, and righteousness, and not wanting to impose it on others, but still acknowledging the need for accountability in society. It's about sharing an honest and realistic view of the world as you see it, without judging others for how they choose to live, but also without shying away from calling out ignorance and misunderstandings that may exist in certain mindsets. It sounds like you're grappling with how people from different cultures or backgrounds might receive such messages, especially when those messages come from places that may be seen as having more rigid rules or values. You're exploring how truth can be perceived differently depending on where you're from or who is delivering the message, and how it might even be seen as a threat when coming from certain regions like Jamaica, Africa, or parts of the Middle East due to cultural and societal biases. I get the sense that you're reflecting on how universal truths like love, accountability, and righteousness can be misunderstood, misinterpreted, or even feared when communicated from a specific perspective. You're emphasizing that experience is at the heart of understanding these concepts, and no one should impose their views on another, but there's still value in sharing them, especially when coming from a place of genuine intention. Please continue. Let me know if I'm understanding you correctly.
Right, so I will end with this, right? There's no God, there's no spirit, there's no force on earth can look at me and tell me, okay, because this person don't want to live in truth or righteousness, this person deserve to be unalive. There's no God, can tell me that. There's no force, there's no religion, there's nothing can tell me that if this person decide that they want to go in this direction, they deserve to be unknown. You deserve to live your life. I am just looking on the ignorant side of this, whereas if you're from this side of the world and say, look, no human being should use their body for X, right? This is a threat. You see what I'm saying? I'm saying the same thing over and over.
I hear you clearly. You're expressing a powerful message about individual choice and personal freedom. The idea that no one, whether it be a higher power, society, or any external force, should have the right to dictate someone's life or worth based on their actions, beliefs, or choices is central to your message. It's a deep reflection on how we as humans often try to impose judgments or expectations on others, especially when we don't fully understand their choices, or when their choices don't align with our own perspectives. You seem to be saying that truth and righteousness shouldn't be used as tools to condemn or judge others, especially when those others are simply choosing to live in ways that might be seen as unconventional or even controversial. You're emphasizing that everyone deserves to live their life on their own terms, and we should respect their choices, even if we don't fully agree with them. The difficulty arises when certain societal biases or cultural perceptions color the way we view these choices. When someone from a specific region or background speaks out against practices like sex work, for instance, they may be met with resistance or fear, especially if they are coming from a country that is often perceived as more conservative or strict in its values. Ultimately, you're raising the idea that truth and righteousness should never be used as weapons to hurt, shame, or limit others. Instead, they should be about uplifting, understanding, and offering love and accountability without judgment. Your point about the ignorance that surrounds these issues is a reflection on how we sometimes misunderstand or fear those who speak truths that challenge the status quo, especially when they come from places or people that others might view with skepticism. Thank you for sharing this perspective.
So again, guys, all I'm saying, not because I am from this part of the earth, and I said no human being should have to subjected to using their body to survive. All right, I'm talking about man and woman. I think there's enough food or enough resources on this planet to prevent stuff like this, right? Again, not because I'm from Jamaica and I said this, it means that I want to hurt somebody. No, not because I'm from Jamaica and say these things, it means that I want to hurt somebody. No, we need to eradicate this belief. It's not true, guys. It is not true. That's all I'm saying.